At my birthday dinner, I reserved a table for 12. Only 3 people showed, and 2 left before dessert. My sister texted, "We'll make it up to you next week." That week never came. I sat alone with a slice of cake, watching the waiter clear extra place settings. The next day, my cousin posted a photo of a party, my family all together. No one mentioned my birthday. When I sent a group message, no one replied. A month later, my mom called and said, "Don't be so sensitive. We're all busy." I'm not writing this for sympathy. I'm writing it because it's the only way I know how to get this out. If you've ever been left out by the people who are supposed to love you the most, maybe you'll understand what this felt like. My name's Clara. I live in Loveland, Colorado. Born and raised. It's the kind of town where people still have Sunday dinner, where folks remember your name at the post office, where family is everything. Or at least, that's what I thought until my 34th birthday. That birthday changed something in me. Not just because of what happened, but because of what didn't happen. I started planning the dinner in January. My birthday was February 17th, a Friday that year. I thought, perfect, it gives everyone time to get there after work. I texted my whole family. I made a group chat. Said I was reserving a table for 12 at Betta Gumbo, downtown on 4th. Everyone knew the place. We'd been there for my dad's retirement dinner, my cousin's engagement party, my sisters were having a baby meal. It was our spot. I gave them 3 weeks' notice. First replies came in right away. Wouldn't miss it. My sister Abby excited. My mom will be there. My Aunt Darla looking forward to it. Cousin Rachel, so I booked the table. Friday, 6:30 p.m. Told the hostess it was a birthday dinner. She even said they'd write a sign. I smiled, actually excited. I hadn't been that happy in a while. Work had been draining. Life felt small. I figured this dinner would lift me up. Something to remind me I was loved. That I mattered. The night came. I dressed up more than usual, nothing fancy. Just something that made me feel nice. Blue blouse, black jeans, my brown leather boots. Put on a little makeup. When I got to the restaurant, the sign was out front. "Happy Birthday, Clara," written in chalk. That made me tear up a little. I sat down and waited. 6:30 came. No one there. No big deal. People run late. 6:45, still no one. I texted the group, "Hey, I'm here." Big table in the back, smiling face with smiling eyes, no replies. At 6:58, Rachel and her boyfriend walked in. She gave me a hug, didn't even take her coat off before asking the waiter for a menu. "I'm starving," she said. "No worries," I said, trying to stay upbeat. They didn't ask where everyone else was. Didn't act surprised. At 7:10, Jan, my godmother, showed up. She's quiet, soft-spoken. Handed me a card. Inside was a $20 bill. She said she wasn't hungry but would sit with me. No one else came. I waited until 7:45 before I asked the waiter to bring the cake. It was just me, Jan sipping tea, Rachel picking at her fries, and her boyfriend on his phone. Nobody else. Rachel left before dessert. "We've got to stop by his sister's," she said. Jan left not long after. "You okay, honey?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said. I wasn't. I sat there with one slice of cake. Alone. The waiter cleared the unused plates. He looked like he wanted to say something but didn't. Probably used to people getting stood up for dates. Maybe not birthdays. I went home and cried on my couch. The next morning, I opened Instagram. First photo, my cousin Rachel, standing in someone's living room, holding a red Solo cup. Then I saw the rest. My sister. My parents. My aunts. My cousins. Even my uncle who lives 2 hours away. All gathered at someone's house, my cousin Ellie's, I think. Decorations, chips, wine, even a chocolate fountain. Caption, family night. Couldn't ask for better people. I stared at it for a long time. Then I texted the group. "Hey, saw the pictures. Guess you were all busy last night." I wish someone had told me. No one responded. Not that day. Not the day after. Not ever. 3 days later, I texted my mom directly. You okay? Just wondering why no one came Friday. She didn't reply for a week. Then, finally, she called. I was hoping she'd apologize. I thought she might say they forgot, or that something happened. But what she said hit harder than all the silence before it. Clara, don't be so sensitive. Everyone's busy. You're too old to make a big deal out of a birthday. That was it. No, sorry we missed it. No, we love you. Just, you're too sensitive. I hung up without saying goodbye. I didn't cry. Not then. I just sat in my living room, stared at the wall and felt something go cold. They hadn't forgotten. They had made a choice. And I decided that night, I'd make a choice too. They wanted me invisible? Fine. Let me show them what being invisible really looks like. So here's what I did next. I stopped calling. Stopped texting. Didn't say anything. I didn't yell. I didn't send long emotional messages. I just went quiet. I figured if they wanted me out, I'd step out. It started small. I didn't go to Sunday dinner. My mom always hosts. Every other week, pot roast and green beans, football in the background. I'd been going for years, even when I was tired, even when I had work. I skipped one dinner. Then another. No one reached out. That told me everything I needed to know. I waited 3 weeks before someone finally noticed. It was my Aunt Darla. She texted me, "Hey, haven't seen you around. Everything okay?" I almost replied. Almost. But then I remembered her face in that Instagram photo. Big smile, arm around my mom. The same night I sat alone with a slice of cake. I didn't answer. The messages slowed, then stopped altogether. I wasn't mad anymore. I was focused, calm. If they wanted to cut me out, I'd disappear in a way they'd feel. A way they wouldn't expect. So I started planning. I didn't want revenge that looked like revenge. I didn't want yelling or confrontations. I wanted to give them what they gave me. Silence, absence, and eventually regret. There was a family group chat. I muted it. I still read it, though. Watched from the sidelines. That's how I knew Abby. My sister was planning her baby shower. She and her boyfriend were having their first kid. Big deal in our family. She picked the same restaurant I had, Betta Gumbo. I guess she forgot, or didn't care, that she skipped my dinner there just weeks earlier. I waited. 3 days before the shower, Abby texted me directly. "Hey Clara, you're coming Saturday, right? We're doing games and brunch. Can't wait to see you." I stared at the message. Then I left her on read. She followed up the next day. "Did you get my text? Mom said you're acting weird. Don't be like that." Still, I said nothing. Saturday came. I stayed home. Read a book. Ordered takeout. They went on without me. 2 days later, my mom texted. "I know you're mad about your birthday. Let it go. Abby's shower was important." That one broke me a little. My birthday meant nothing. Her shower meant everything. Got it? I started taking notes. Literally. I opened a Word doc and started writing dates, things they said, things they did. Not just for my own memory, but because something in me told me this would all come to a head. And when it did, I wanted the details sharp. Then came the twist. In April, my Aunt Darla got sick. Nothing life-threatening, but bad enough she needed someone to help her after surgery. She lived alone. I knew what was coming before it happened. My mom called. "Darla's getting her gallbladder out. She needs someone to stay with her for a few days. You work from home, right?" I laughed. Not hard. Just enough for her to hear it. "I'm busy," I said. "You're not even asking what week it is," she snapped. "I don't need to," I said. "You've all been busy too, remember?" She went quiet. "You're really holding a grudge over one birthday?" she asked. "One?" I said. "It wasn't just one." Then I hung up. I knew that moment would be the shift. They weren't used to me saying no. I was the quiet one. The helper. The Clara will do it one. Not anymore. A week after I told my mom no, I got a knock at my door. It was Rachel. I hadn't seen her in person since that night at the restaurant. She looked uncomfortable. Hair tied back, no makeup, like she'd come straight from running errands. She had her phone in her hand like a shield. "Hey," she said. I didn't move to let her in. Just crossed my arms and waited. She cleared her throat. "Look, I know things got weird. Abby told me you're mad. And yeah, what happened on your birthday was crappy. I didn't know everyone was gonna blow it off, okay? You still left before dessert," I said. She looked down. "Yeah, I did. That was wrong. I'm sorry." I waited. She looked back up. "But you've made your point. You ghosted the whole family. People are talking. It's getting weird." "Good," I said. "Let them talk." She blinked, like she hadn't expected that. "What do you even want, Clara? For us to beg? Write some big apology? It's family. People mess up." I said nothing. She kept going. "Darla's mad. Your mom says she can't sleep. Abby's crying because you missed her baby shower." I raised an eyebrow. Did anyone cry when they skipped my birthday? She opened her mouth, then closed it. I finally stepped forward. "You all made it clear I don't matter. I believed you. So now I'm just giving you what you asked for." She looked like she wanted to say something else, but didn't. Just turned and walked off. That night, Abby texted me. A long, emotional message. She said she missed me. Said she'd been overwhelmed with the pregnancy and didn't think skipping my birthday would hit me that hard. She said she thought we were closer than that. I didn't reply. The next twist came a month later. I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. It was my dad. "Clara, I know we haven't talked much, but your mom's a mess. Abby's due soon. Everyone's asking what you're doing. You've made your point. Come home." That's what he said. Come home. Like I was a runaway child. I sat on the edge of my couch, phone in my hand, and felt something twist in my chest. I used to want this. The calls, the apologies, the effort. Now, it just felt too late. It got worse. In early June, Abby had her baby. A girl. I saw the photo on Facebook. Big bow on her head, pink blanket, mom and dad beaming in the hospital room. No one told me. Not even my mom. 3 days later, Abby texted me, "You're really not coming to meet her? She's your niece." I stared at the message for an hour. Then I replied, "I hope you're a better mom to her than ours was to me." No reply. A week later, I got another group message. My mom had added me back into the family group chat. I guess she thought that would fix everything. Family barbecue on the 4th. Everyone bring something. I didn't answer, but I did show up. Not to attend. To sit in my car across the street and watch. They laughed. Ate ribs. Abby held her baby like a trophy. They all acted normal. Like I never existed. But they looked tired. Something was missing. They were talking too loud, moving too fast. Filling space I used to fill. I didn't smile. I didn't cry. I just watched. They thought this was over? No. This was just the start. By August, I had made my decision. I was done waiting for apologies. Done letting them decide if I mattered. If they wanted to act like I didn't exist, then I'd make it official. I called a lawyer. I'd been the quiet one, sure. But I wasn't stupid. My grandmother had passed down a chunk of land just outside town, a few acres with a small cabin on it. She gave it to me in her will because I was the only one who visited her every week before she died. That land had value now. Developers were sniffing around. My uncle had asked about it once, not long after the funeral. My mom said it should stay in the family. I agreed. Just not their part of the family. I sold it. Every acre. Every tree they used to camp under, every inch of land they assumed I'd keep for the family's sake. Gone. And I didn't sell it to just anyone. I sold it to a guy named Mark, a real estate investor from Denver. He planned to build 6 short-term rentals on the land. When the news hit, my uncle called me 6 times in one day. I didn't answer. The next week, I got a letter from my mom. A real, handwritten letter. She begged. Not for forgiveness, but for the land. You know how much history we have out there, she wrote. How could you sell it? I sent her one line in response. You left your history sitting alone at a restaurant on her birthday. I didn't hear from her again. The next time I saw them in person was at my dad's birthday that October. He turned 60. They threw a big party at a local lodge. My cousin Ellie invited me, maybe hoping I'd show. I did. I didn't tell anyone I was coming. I walked in right as they were cutting the cake. People turned to stare like they'd seen a ghost. I didn't smile. I didn't wave. I walked right up to the table, looked my mother dead in the eyes, and handed her an envelope. Inside was a printed copy of that Instagram photo from February. The one of them smiling at the party. I'd written one line across the top, "Happy birthday to the family I used to believe in." I didn't stay. As I walked out, I heard Abby say, "Jesus, Mom. What did you expect?" It was the first time I'd heard my name from her in months. I walked to my car, shut the door, and let out a long breath. I wasn't healed. I wasn't over it. But I had taken control. And in the silence that followed, I built something better. New friends. Real connections. A smaller family, made of people who didn't forget me when it mattered. People who showed up. That's the thing about revenge. Sometimes it's loud. Sometimes it's just leaving the table for good and letting them choke on the silence you left behind.